candidates.
Arigato.
Hiring's better when you've got your short list. Save time on hiring when you post a job on Indeed. Get started today at Indeed.com/hire.
You're hot.
All right, we're back. History Soccer, Sports Byline USA, SB Nation Radio. Nick Geber with you, along with Nick Webster. And we are having a great time today celebrating our fantastic picks, both yesterday and today. We have done extremely well, and if you're banking on our picks, you are smiling all the way to El Banco, or whatever it's called in Russian. Do you know what that's called in Russian, Nick?
No, нет.
Niet. Bien.
Niet.
Bien with money. Yeah. Okay. All right. Okay, folks. So here we go. We promised you our picks, and that we're going to do. This is that part of the show. Picks and values, courtesy of betanysports.eu, where you can sign up right now online at betanysports.eu. Very easy to do. And if you do that and you use the affiliate code FISTREET, you get a 50% bonus on your deposit up to $1,000, which, if you keep everything going the way it is, should buy you a mansion, a Ferrari, a Lamborghini, and a bevy of supermodels to hang out by your pool for you. So keep listening to us here at Fifth Street Soccer. Nick, tomorrow we have 2 matches in Group F, 1 match in Group G. We're getting very close to another match in Group G on Sunday. I'm very excited about that one, Nick. But let's not get ahead of ourselves, shall we? By the way, Twitter at Fifth Street Sports. We have on Fifth Street Sports, we have some spectacular matches to look forward to. And let's start with the Group G matchup of Tunisia against Belgium, Nick. And Belgium broke down Panama in the first match. Tunisia is also going to be a difficult team to break down, Nick. They're both really having to play. They can't play tete-a-tete with a team like Belgium. They have to kind of pack it in, be a little compact, and do, quite frankly, what Tunisia have done. They were unlucky, let's just say. Luck is probably not bad. It was unfortunate for them to lose to Harry Kane in the first match. But here they are playing an extremely good Belgian side. And the news out of the Belgian camp, Nick, is that Vincent Kompany is going to miss with an injury, and Thomas Vermaelen is probably not going to play. How do you see this match going, Nick?
Well, I'm very interested, actually, obviously from the English perspective, to see how Belgium do against Tunisia, who England found very easy to get through in the first half, but couldn't convert their chances. This Belgium team with De Bruyne, Hazard, Lukaku, Mertens, all very good finishers. And I would imagine if they get the chances that Tunisia gifted to England, then this could be a 5-0 by half time. So it'll be kind of interesting to see how Belgium approach this game. Will they go for a fast start, or will they tend to sit back and see what Tunisia have? But the quality within the team, I can't see Tunisia troubling Thibaut Courtois in the Belgian goal, to be honest with you. And I actually see Belgium winning this one very comfortably by a scoreline of at least 2-3-0.
Right, Nick. So the other news, you mentioned Thibaut Courtois in goal for Belgium. On the other side, sadly for Tunisia, their first choice goalkeeper, Mouez Hassan, is actually injured and done after the injury he sustained during the England match. So they're going to have their second choice goalkeeper in, which is going to make life very difficult for them because they're up against Belgium, which has a great midfield, a good attack, and very solid defense on the other side. So it is going to be tough for them. Nick, I like Belgium 2-0 on this match for me. If we look at the numbers on this, there's not a great deal of value anywhere you go on this one. Tunisia, a plus 967 for the win. Again, these odds courtesy of betanysports.eu. Tunisia, plus 967 for the win. Belgium, minus 265 for the win. The draw, which is not going to happen, I cannot see the draw happening on this, is plus 402. And the over-under is 2.5 goals, actually, which is a bit awkward. And neither of them are playing particularly well at 106 and 109, respectively. So, Nick, much like the Brazil game of today, where we recommended that you just pass on this one, I'm going to recommend to the folks out there that they just pass on this one.
Bold decision, Nick. I mean, I think if Belgium can really get their football going, 3-0 would be quite nice to take Belgium and the over. But I do tend to agree with you on this one. I think should Belgium get that lead, they'll probably take their foot off the gas and rely on the likes of Vertonghen and Odegaard to get them the 3 points and bring it home.
Right, I agree. So we're set on that Tunisia-Belgium draw in Group G. Let's move on to a very highly anticipated match here in the States, of course. It is Mexico-South Korea. And, of course, Mexico coming off that absolutely terrific win against Germany that kind of shocked the world and really set the stage for what we're seeing in this World Cup, which is some wonderful play and some great upsets, and maybe some of the well-established teams showing a little bit of age and some miles on them. But after that, Mexico are in pole position. They're tied with Sweden. Sweden, they'll get to play Germany this particular match day. And if Mexico get the win, they'll need just to draw with Sweden in the next match to finish in first place, maybe getting ahead of ourselves a bit. But if Mexico can get a win here against South Korea, it'll put them perfectly to just need a point. And they're through in first place, which was inconceivable. I'll just give you an idea, Nick Webster. I'll just pull out our odds prior to the World Cup here. Mexico were plus 510 to come out of this group in first place. 5-1.
Outstanding performance by the Mexicans in that first half against the Germans has really set this one up for that 5-1 to be a great payday. I mean, in all honesty, Nick, I thought the first 45 minutes by Mexico was the finest performance we've seen in the tournament so far. Yes, granted, in the second half, they were running on fumes and the Germans came on strong, but they showed a lot of defensive discipline and looked so very dangerous on the break. And when you've got the likes of Chicharito, Carlos Vela, and Guardado, the captain, just making Mexico hum, tick, and the belief going through the Osorio squad right now is second to none. And I really see them taking care of business against South Korea. Not too sure what the scoreline is going to be. I'm leaning towards a 2-0 Mexico. I'm fully confident that Mexico will take all 3 points in this game and guarantee themselves a spot in the knockout rounds. And like you said, were they to finish first, that 5-1, if you put some money on it, that's a great payout.
Well, the team news coming out of the various camps are that South Korea, by the way, South Korea didn't get a single shot on target versus Sweden, not one. They're solid organization, I mean, absolutely. But you've got to have some teeth. They have none. And to make matters worse, their big defender, Park Joo-hoo, is injured and will be replaced by Kim Min-woo, both players that I know absolutely nothing about, to be quite honest with you. But, anytime you're changing a starting defender in a World Cup game where really it's super important, is never good. So it doesn't bode well for South Korea. Juan Carlos Osorio, Nick's not predicted to make any changes whatsoever. No surprise. For my money, I like, obviously, Mexico for this. They're not going to lose this match. But I don't think this scoreline is going to be all that big. I think a 1-0 for me on this one. I think we're going to see South Korea really packing it in and making it very difficult for Mexico. Yes, they have creativity. It's going to be fascinating to see when they do it, though. Just if this Mexico team can keep their composure and keep sort of banging away at the rock wall, chiseling away, which is what you have to do when teams pack it in, or if they're going to start to get really frustrated and start flailing around. I still don't see any danger of South Korea really hitting on the counterattack. So I do think it's going to be a 1-0 victory for Mexico. Let's look at the numbers on this one, Nick. And actually, surprisingly enough, some pretty good numbers on Mexico for this one. Minus 136 for Mexico to win. That, to me, is ridiculously low. I would think Mexico would be a favorite closer. Mexico would be a favorite closer to where Belgium was against Tunisia at minus 265, but the bookies have it at minus 136, which is good value if you want to put some money on it. South Korea plus 485. If you're a little cynical and think there's going to be a draw. By the way, if there's a draw, this is going to be the world's most horrendously boring match, because this will be a 0-0 draw with one team trying to chisel away at the other's great wall of defense. It's going to be an awful match if it is a 0-0 draw. I don't see it. That's plus 267. The over-under is 2. The under is plus 107. Not bad right there, Nick. And the over's minus 122. So for me, I'm going Mexico. I'm taking the under.
Yes, I'm going Mexico and taking the under as well. Obviously the bookies have looked at many of these games that we've reported on, and the under seems to be a very popular scoreline right now. And if we look at the amount of goals scored in this World Cup right now, for all the excitement of the games, Nick, the goal scoring is actually way down on previous World Cups. So for the fans at home who don't get to enjoy the atmosphere of the stadiums, we want to see more goals. So come on, guys, stop messing around. Start putting the ball in the back of the bloody net.
All right, we got 2.5 minutes left to do this, so 3.5 minutes left for the big match here, Germany-Sweden. This is the next match. If Germany loses and Mexico win, guess what? Germany are out. And I know that's surprising to a lot of people, but 3 of the last 4 World Cup winners prior to Germany failed to make it out of the group stages. So that's actually a really interesting statistic. And history, though, in this particular match, Nick, would suggest goals. In 2013, Germany beat them 5-3. There was that incredible 4-4 draw in 2012 where Germany were up 4-0 and Sweden came back, scored 4 goals. In the 36 prior matches, they basically split it. 15 wins for Germany, 13 for Sweden. Although, trust me, folks, that means nothing. Those are players that some of them are probably long dead of old age. But in this one in particular, I like Germany 2-1 for this match, Nick. They're going to make some changes. Marco Reus is going to replace Mesut Ozil. Ilkay Gundogan is going to replace Sami Khedira. And Jonas Hector is going to be at left back instead of Marvin Plattenhardt. So they're making some changes, which is what they need to do, obviously, after the defeat to Mexico. In Swedish news, Victor Lindelof from Man United is going to replace Pontus Jansson. Sweden, I don't know, Nick, how do you see it? I see it 2-1.
Well, I hear that Mario Gomez is also going to get a start. So Germany going with a big target man up front. I've been telling you for weeks that I actually think Sweden, for all their limitations, are a very difficult team to play against and have a history of squirming and worming their way out of the group stages in major tournaments to get to the knockout round. I actually feel like Sweden are a good value for a tie tomorrow. And that tie will put immense pressure on the Germans. I mean, look, they've got to come out. They've got to make the running. They are the current world champions. It is their trophy on the line right now. And they were very, very poor on Saturday. Yes, we're going to see a much improved German performance, but Sweden are going to be, I mean, you talk about Mexico chiseling away against South Korea. Well, Germany's going to have to do exactly the same against Sweden. And I just see Sweden playing a real strong 4-4-2, parking the bus and making life very difficult.
All right, call the ball, Nick. How do you see it? 1-1. All right, Nick sees a draw at 1-1. I see Germany 2-1. Here are the values. The draw plus 341. Nick, great value on the draw. Great value on the draw. Real possibility. Germany minus 196. Not so good. The over-under is 2.5. Not great value on either one. Minus 10, minus 105. I'm not sure people really think. They either think this is going to be a goal fest or this is going to be a nothing fest. But I do see Germany 2-1. So I would go the over, and I will go Germany. Nick, you're going to go the draw, and you're going to go the under. That's correct?
Yes, that's correct.
All right, we're going to go to break. We'll be right back to wrap it up here. This is Fifth Street Soccer Sports Byline USA, SB Nation Radio. That's it, folks. Those are our picks for Tunisia, Belgium, Mexico, South Korea, Sweden, Germany. Mark them down. Go put your money down. We'll be right back after this.
You're clear.
Attention, time.